be a super short video and it's probably not. Story of my life. Hi guys! Welcome to my recap / review of episode 606 of Pretty Little Liars, No Stone Unturned. This is going to be a very quick video today because I have lots of stuff to do, it's a busy day, so I'm just going to get straight into it and then move on as usual and do a live reaction to the 607 promo. So, I have to say, this has not been my favourite episode of the season so far. I felt like it ended up being a little bit of a filler episode. I don't know if anyone else felt like that or if that was just my feelings, but I think basically I don't feel like this really progressed the plot in any significant way. I feel like right up until the previous episode we were gaining a lot of new information in each episode, and so I felt like the pace of the series up until that point was really great. It was steady enough that you felt satisfied at the end of the episode that you'd gained some new information, but at the same time left you with lots and lots of questions, so you were excited for the next episode. But before I go into that in any great depth, I will say the things I did like about the episode. I really liked the Hannah-Caleb reunion moment. I thought that was lovely. I really hated seeing her pushing him away because I'm a Caleb shipper. I think they're great. I think they're so cute together, and so I really liked seeing that reunion moment. I also like the fact that Hannah's mum was in it because she's not really featured all that much in this season, and I actually really like her as a character. Another storyline that I didn't really mind but I'm not entirely sure why it was relevant was the one with Spencer's old drug sponsor guy, Dean. The fact that he's been back for the past couple of episodes, obviously she is, you know, struggling, she's not able to sleep and she's still tempted to turn to medication to get her through, so obviously I understand why she's going to the meetings. But I saw a couple of people tweeting like, what is this about, like we don't have time for this, like the moments between them where he turned up in the car outside her house and all that. I thought it was quite a nice scene and I actually do feel like there's quite a nice chemistry between them. Also, where is Toby? Does anyone know where Toby is? I feel like I might have forgotten something and I might have missed that, because I can't possibly think where Toby could be at this point. I also really enjoyed the scenes in the lab. So the scene with Hannah, Spencer and Arya in the lab, and Hannah's like freeing all the animals and then Mona appears out of nowhere. I just love Mona. Mona's just, I mean, she's terrible a lot of the time, but I just think she's such a great character. And so I love that she kind of like appeared out of the darkness. So that was a good scene. I really enjoyed that. It was very tense and I thought that was very well done. However, my issue with this episode was that really all that I feel that we have gained from it, with the very exception of the end scene, which I really enjoyed, the one with Kenneth De Laurentiis digging up Charles's grave, and then we see inside the birthday card saying like, oh, I'm coming home for my birthday, Dad, kind of thing. I thought that was great. It was so creepy, and that obviously gives us information that Charles is here and he's coming back. Really the two main pieces of information that we were handed in this episode were that Leslie actually isn't involved and that Charles is alive. And I feel like the two main pieces of information we were handed in the episode before were Leslie's involved and Charles is dead. So I don't know, I felt like this episode didn't really do a massive amount for progressing the plot. I think in all honesty, I don't think I've ever truly 100% believed that Charles was dead. I think even when they were reading these hospital records and stuff, you still feel like it's Pretty Little Liars, of course, like there's going to be some sort of way that he could potentially still be alive. So that didn't come as a massive surprise, and to be honest, the fact that Leslie's not directly involved didn't come as a massive surprise either, because had she been, I would have been really annoyed, because I would have been like, that girl we met once for 5 minutes in season 4 or season 5. So yeah, I don't know, I just feel like of the 6 episodes that we've had up till this point, this is the one that has done the least in terms of moving us forward. And I'm sure a lot of people will disagree with that because they'll say, oh no, but now that we know that Charles definitely is alive and that he snuck out of Radley the night that Bethany died, that obviously is quite an exciting piece of information, but I just feel like we're still at the same place that we were at the end of the last episode. Yeah, okay, so we know that he's alive again, but we thought that he was alive at the end of, you know, episodes 3 and 4 or whatever, and then at the end of episode 5 we thought he was dead, and now at episode 6 we know that he's alive, so I don't know. However, I still thoroughly enjoyed the episode. As I say, I really enjoyed the Hannah and Caleb moments, and the moments between Caleb and Hannah's mum, actually I think they've got a really nice sort of bond going on there, and so I thought they were great. Loved the scene in the lab, it was very, very creepy. What I did discover last night though was that one of the theories that I had thought might turn out to be right can't possibly be right, but I'm going to talk about that after I've reacted to the promo. So the name of the next episode is Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Quite a good episode name, I think, and I'm just going to watch the trailer now. He's alive, and he's coming for us. He threatened everybody we've ever cared. What is that? Oh, is that like fan art? Okay. Okay, so there was a lot going on in that promo, and I don't really feel like there was one specific thing that I could particularly grasp at, other than the fact that obviously Toby is back from wherever it is that he has been. Where has he been? Why has this not been explained? That makes me think that Toby is involved somehow. I mean, I don't think that Toby's involved, because these were the things that I was trying to figure out earlier on, and the theory, if you don't want to hear any theories or ideas, and these aren't just theories of mine, these are theories that I've read online, so if you don't want to hear any of these, do switch this video off now, and thank you so much for watching. If you're still here, great. So the theory that I had kind of started to decide maybe made sense, not really in terms of the actual reasonings behind this person being A, but just because there's not really that many other people, and I read a lot of interesting theories connecting this character to other people, was, much to my horror, Rain. I have said, if you watch back my Pretty Little Liars videos for months, you will see me saying that I just didn't accept that it was Rain, I didn't accept that Rain had anything to do with it, and I thought that that was ridiculous. However, the longer time has gone on, the more I've been like, who else is the right age and could possibly be involved in this? However, something occurred to me last night, which I don't know why this had never occurred to me before. I guess it was just because they were talking about Charles escaping from Radley the same night Bethany escaped. It made me think that obviously Charles was in Radley until he was at least 16, if not, from the sounds of what they were saying last night, like early 20s, so 21, 22. So he was in Radley for a very, very long time. There is absolutely no way on this earth that Rain can possibly be Charles, because he worked in Radley. So surely, I mean, there's no way that anyone is going to convince me that people in Radley just sort of missed the fact that this, first of all, where would he get his medical qualifications, which he would need to have in order to be there? The only logical way that he could be Charles and have a medical degree would be if he had not been in the country for several years. So he'd maybe been transported over to England, hence the British accent, where he'd maybe been in therapy for a while or whatever, but then had got to go on and live a relatively normal, in inverted commas, life and go to med school or whatever. If that didn't happen, then there's no way that he would have a job in a hospital training people, because I know things can be a little bit slack occasionally, but there is absolutely no way that he would get a job in a hospital. Never mind Radley. I mean, Charles is a sensible, no, not sensible, he's insane, but Charles is a clever character. He has done all of this to these girls over the past few years with such in-depth, careful planning. So there's been the cameras following them about, he's microchipped them, all of that stuff. And that's all happened over the course of years. He would not be stupid enough to go and work in Radley. It just doesn't make any sense. So, sorry, ran over for that. But I read a lot of interesting theories linking Rain and Arya. If you want to read any of those, I'll leave a link in the description box down below for a couple of videos that I watched, which I'm now if that doesn't turn out to be true, I won't say what the links are just in case you want to go and have a look at it, but you know, to a certain extent, if some of the stuff that comes up in these videos, if it doesn't turn out that they have something to do with it, then I really want to speak to the producers and be like, do you know how many accidental clues you left pointing towards these people? And I don't know, I feel like now, because I've really, over the past couple of weeks, I hadn't been looking at theory videos at all up until about 2 weeks ago, and I was like, right, I'm just going to have a look, and then fell down the rabbit hole of watching all of these theory videos, because there are so many of them and there are such in-depth theories, it's unbelievable. Something that came up a lot in theory videos was this element of 3, so there's a lot of things that come in 3s there were a lot of things in 3s in the dollhouse, and there's been mention of sort of things in 3s quite a lot. And I mean, this is the level that I'm getting to now, because I've realised by watching these theory videos that I'm like, wow, I am not looking at this closely enough to be accurately picking up on information. And so last night I paused it on the birthday card that Charles had sent Kenneth, or the card saying I'm coming home for my birthday, Daddy, you should plan, what was it, you should plan a party to die for, just you. So obviously he's very much against his dad. But in that letter, if you look closely at it, this is genuinely the level that I've got to. There are 3 capital T's in that letter that aren't at the start of words, or if they are at the start of words, they're mid-sentence, so they shouldn't really be there. So I'm sitting there going, T, T, T. What could that mean? What could 3 T's mean? The only character who I can think of whose name starts with a T is Toby. Toby can't possibly be Charles because he went to school with the girls when he was supposed to be in Radley. If it can't be Rain because he worked in Radley, and I still stand by that, that's, you know, it can't possibly be him. If they try and make it that, I'll be like, right, this is nonsense. What sort of ridiculous institution is this being run? If they can go into lockdown because a patient has escaped and then a year later not recognise him when he turns up to work for them, nonsense. So it can't be him. It can't be Asia because he like kissed Alison, unless Charles is twisted, but I don't think he's incestuous. So he had the whole thing with Alison, so don't think it's Asia. Also, he's been milling about town, and I'm pretty sure again someone would have been like, hang on a minute, you look familiar. Can't be Jason because, well, I guess it still could be Jason. Jason's really the only one left, I think, who sort of makes any sense, because Ian's dead. I'm trying to think of people who are the right age group. So Ian's dead, Weldon's dead, Toby's too young, Caleb's too young. There's nobody else. I've run out of people. So what I feel is going to happen is that Charles himself is going to probably be a slight disappointment, but the A-team. So I feel now that there's going to be 3 people very much in like an inner circle of this. And I think that it's the other 2 people who are going to be the big shock, and that Charles himself, I feel, has to be it can't be someone that we know all that well. I know they've said like, oh, we've seen this person, but we can't know them that well because I've just listed everybody and there are reasons why it can't possibly be any of these people. So if there's anyone I've missed, oh, Garrett as well, Garrett's dead. So if there's anyone that I've missed that you can think of, do let me know in the comments down below. So that's it. This was supposed to be a super short video and it's probably not. Story of my life. But anyway, I really hope that you enjoyed that. If you enjoyed this last episode, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know how you're feeling about the season up until this point. And yeah, I look forward to finding out more next week. So thanks again for watching. I hope you're having a lovely day and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye! When Spencer and Hannah go back to Radley, however, and make their way through a whole bunch of files, during a couple of extremely creepy scenes, those scenes in that basement in Radley were so creepy.